our next breaking comes from Pakistan. Well, remember after dictator Pervez Musharraf, former dictator Pervez Musharraf declared his admiration for Hafiz Saeed. You have Pakistani Army Chief Qamar Bajwa, who has also praised Hafiz Saeed, and he has not only praised him, he said that Hafiz Saeed has been active in resolving the Kashmir issue. And well, that's the kind of a shocker which is coming from the Chief of Pakistan Army, Qamar Bajwa. All the praises for global terrorist and terror mastermind Hafiz Saeed. Remember, United Nations designated terrorist Hafiz Saeed has found now a new supporter after Aditya, our associate editor who is breaking this news, joins me on this story. Aditya, well, after Pervez Musharraf, now you have the Pakistan Army Chief. The current Pakistan Army Chief, if he openly actually admits his admiration for Hafiz Saeed, what is the kind of message that Pakistan has now sent it globally?
Well, Sakal, it's clearly a shocker coming in from Pakistan, but not really a surprise. We at Republic have been investigating and reporting for a very long time how there's a growing nexus between the Pakistan Army, the ISI, and the terror outfits like the Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jamaat-ud-Dawa, led by none other than Hafiz Saeed, who has a 10 million bounty on his head. And now this shocker coming in from Pakistan, with the Pakistan Army Chief, General Qamar Bajwa, who was speaking at the Senate yesterday afternoon, praised, in fact, Hafiz Saeed, went on to say that Hafiz Saeed was just like any other citizen of Pakistan, and Jamaat-ud-Dawa was in fact a charity social organization, and Hafiz Saeed was only actively supporting Pakistan in the Kashmir cause. Now, what can be much more shocking than this particular statement coming in from somebody who is the current Pakistan Army Chief? In the past, of course, we did see a statement coming in from Pervez Musharraf, the former Army Chief and the ruler of Pakistan, who had in fact said that he would like to ally with Hafiz Saeed and Lashkar-e-Toiba and contest elections. And now the sitting Army Chief perhaps getting a cue from Pervez Musharraf and saying that Hafiz Saeed is just like any other citizen of Pakistan. A shocking statement coming in from Pakistan, but clearly something that we all knew, and the world community needs to realize now how terrorism is becoming a very common trait in Pakistan. Terrorists want to contest elections, terrorists want to mainstream themselves, and something that Pakistan government has been using terrorism as a state of foreign policy, and now they are mainstreaming terror completely without any kind of an apology. So clearly at this moment, US also slamming Pakistan on Hafiz Saeed. We'll bring you that video in a bit, but clearly a very massive, shocking statement which will clearly have regional and global implications for Pakistan.
From the US, Aditya. Yes, we do have the reaction from the US, the way they not only have they slammed Pakistan in the past, but we've got the latest reaction also coming from the US. In fact, the White House spokesperson slamming Pakistan for letting Hafiz Saeed contest elections also. They have once again reminded Pakistan of Saeed's role in 26/11 attack. Let's listen in and I'm going to get back to you.
For those of you who, I'm not sure if we've talked about this here in this room before. I think we may have on one other occasion. And who Lalit is referring to is the mastermind behind the Mumbai attacks. Remember those? Where the guys drove up on the boat, they went into the hotel, they shot up hundreds of people, killed, I believe it was hundreds, including some Americans. That happened a few years back. He's asking about the mastermind of those attacks, a man who is affiliated with LET, Lashkar-e-Taiba, one of the terror groups. It's a group that the United States government considers to be a terror organization. We have many good conversations with the government of Pakistan. One of the things that happened recently is that this guy was held on house arrest. Pakistan released him from house arrest. And now there's word that he may be running for some sort of office. I want to remind folks, we have a $10 million reward for justice program that would reward for information that would bring him to justice. So I want to make that clear so that everybody knows $10 million out for this guy, and we would certainly have concerns about him running for office. So I'm glad you highlighted that. I can tell you that his organization that was responsible for those attacks, is considered a foreign terror organization. It's considered a foreign terror organization by the U.S. government for a reason. and for a good reason. I would imagine that if we had any intelligence, and that's not an area that I can discuss anyway, but we would certainly share it with the Pakistanis on that front. I hope they'll do the right thing.
I think, Aditya, you would agree with me. This is, one of those rare, very elaborate and comprehensive reaction that has come from White House in the recent time, Aditya, where the spokesperson has gone on length to explain why they consider a bounty of $10 million on Hafiz Saeed, any information regarding Hafiz Saeed and the organization that he is running. And now, how is Pakistan going to explain this, respond to this diplomatically?
That's right, Sakal. It's a very important and strategic statement coming in from the US State Department, slamming Pakistan, continuously reminding Pakistan that there's a $10 million bounty on the head of Hafiz Saeed. There's a reward for justice program that the US has been running for a very long time. And since the year 2006, there's been a $10 million bounty on the Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed. He's a terrorist. He's a global terrorist who has been designated by the UN and the United States. Then why is Pakistan shying away? In that press conference also, we saw how Heather Nauert, who is the spokesperson of the US State Department, went on to say that we have heard reports of he will be contesting elections for a particular office in Pakistan. This is a shocking statement, of course, where, Hafiz Saeed is said to be planning to contest the 2018 general elections in Pakistan, perhaps to become the next prime minister. So is the Pakistan government hand in gloves with the Pakistan army and the ISI trying to mainstream terror and put Hafiz Saeed in the prime minister's office in Pakistan? What could be much more blatant? What could be much more shocking? Here's a man who has blood on his hands. Here's a man who has committed crimes against humanity and one of the most gruesome terror attacks in the history ever, which is, of course, the Mumbai 26/11 attack, in which 166 people were mercilessly killed in Mumbai when terrorists on boats arrived. One terrorist was caught alive, Kasab. He was sentenced to death after going through the legal proceedings here in India.
That's
but
right.
Still, there hasn't been any justice on the Pakistani side.
Pakistan has been,
almost.
And those who have been globally at the receiving end of this Hafiz Saeed masterminded terror, particularly the 26/11 terror attack, Pakistan continues to add insult to their injuries. Well, we're going to leave it there. Many thanks, Aditya. Well, that was a big story, broken first on Republic TV. We're going to take a very short breather. And on the other side, another shocking news coming from UP of a classic case of misplaced priorities by the CM after the break.